So let's jump right into a really fascinating question. What if a company we all know for launching rockets, decided to become something else entirely? Something like the nervous system of civilization itself. We're going to trace a wild 20-year timeline from 2025 to 2045 to see exactly how something like that could happen.
Just take a look at this. This is the endpoint, the mission statement of a company in 2045. I mean, the nervous system of civilization? It's a staggeringly ambitious claim. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction. So how on earth do you get from here to there? And that, right there, is the big question for this whole explainer. It is a massive, massive leap. And to really get it, we need to go all the way back to the beginning and follow the trail. So let's wind the clock back and see how this incredible journey gets started.
Right, so our story kicks off in the very near future, 2025. This is the foundational period, where all the seeds of this huge transformation are planted. And it all begins, not with a bang, not with a rocket, but with a signal.
So this whole foundational era is really defined by three huge moves. First, there's a battle over the invisible real estate of radio frequencies. Then, a whole new kind of connectivity that links up literally every device on the planet. And finally, the first big industrial work starts moving into orbit. Let's unpack that a bit.
So the key here is a massive shift in thinking. In 2025, the company isn't just selling rocket launches anymore. It starts buying up the invisible infrastructure of our entire digital world, radio frequencies, and starts treating it just like land. And that is the pivot right there. That's the first step from being a transport company to an infrastructure company.
Now, what's so interesting here is how this connects a real-world trend with a massive speculative leap. We already know 6G is going to use satellites. But in this timeline, the company doesn't just integrate, it completely dominates. It creates a single, unbroken electromagnetic blanket around the entire planet. Think about the implications of that for a second. Yeah, it's super convenient, but it also creates a single point of control for every single bit of data from every device on Earth.
And this just shows you the next level of ambition. I mean, why keep your data centers on the ground? By 2030, they launch ExaCloud, moving the cloud itself into orbit. Now, on one hand, this makes our digital infrastructure incredibly safe from things like earthquakes or floods. But it also places humanity's entire digital life outside the direct control of any government on Earth.
Okay, so the foundation is laid. Let's move to the next phase and see how they build on it. With everything in place, the network starts to expand beyond Earth, and its whole purpose gets deeper. It goes from just connecting our devices to actively managing our world.
So, over these 5 years, the network's reach goes interplanetary, connecting us to the moon. The whole project gets so huge it has to spin off into its own company. And, maybe most importantly, our civilization starts to become completely fundamentally dependent on this new system that's not even on our planet. I mean, just think about that. Slashing the communication delay between Earth and the moon to just 1/10 of what it was. This isn't just some small update, it's a quantum leap. It's the kind of thing that makes a permanent moon base not just a cool idea, but actually practical. And here we go. This is the big corporate moment. The project is now so enormous, so critical, that it can't just be a part of another company anymore. It spins off, it becomes Hawthorne Electronics, and its mission is now officially planetary in scale.
This is where the story takes a really sharp turn. Hawthorne announces it's building a planet operating system. They're not just providing the internet anymore, they're creating a platform to run the planet's core systems. It's a breathtakingly audacious goal. And this is the moment the company shifts from connecting people to managing society. The question isn't just can they do it, but who gets to decide how the planet is run. And just 3 years later, it's a reality. The Hawthorne Complex is born. Key functions of our society, how we move, how we're watched, how we compute, are no longer just helped by this orbital network. They are completely dependent on it. This is the point of no return. A power outage is no longer an inconvenience. It's a potential systems failure for civilization itself. And the master switch is held by a single company. And that brings us to the final stage, the end game of our timeline. This is where the company's integration into our lives becomes absolute, and that line between being a tech provider and a manager of civilization completely vanishes. So 2 final moments really seal the deal. Humanity officially starts its expansion into the solar system, with the network making a Mars colony not just possible, but viable. And it all leads to the company's final, stunning declaration of what it has truly become. This chart, wow, it really says it all. The network doesn't just serve Earth. It's the backbone for humanity's expansion.
The Mars colony just booms, and it's all managed and connected by Hawthorne's AI network, which even helps set up the first ever extraterrestrial AI parliament to help run things. And so we come full circle. We're back to this quote. But by 2045, this isn't some marketing slogan. It's not an ambition anymore. It's just a simple, factual description of what Hawthorne Electronics is. But why? What's the philosophy that drives a company to do this?
To really get Hawthorne, we have to look past the technology and into its corporate soul. We're talking about the internal documents that define its entire purpose. So, let's dive into the Hawthorne doctrine.
Their philosophy is almost biological. First, connect absolutely everything, no exceptions. Second, act like a neutral nerve, just passing information along to keep things balanced. And third, and this one is maybe a little chilling, build a system that can evolve all on its own, completely independent of the humans who created it.
And these big ideas, they get translated into practical, everyday rules. Look at planetary resilience. The whole purpose is to stop a communication shutdown from becoming a civilization shutdown. Makes sense? But then look closely at neutral network policy. Their goal is to operate above nations and ideologies. A noble goal, maybe, but it also sets them up as an unelected, totally unaccountable superpower whose choices affect every single person on the planet.
Just listen to their internal corporate motto. It perfectly captures how they see themselves. They aren't just the pipes for information. No, they see themselves as the circulatory system for all of humanity, and to them, data is the lifeblood. And believe it or not, it gets even more fundamental. This phrase on your screen, "to connect is to exist," that isn't just a corporate proverb for them. It's a statement of physical law in their universe, and it implies a really stark reality. If you're not on their network, you might as well not exist at all.
And finally, we get to their prime directive, their first and most important internal code. It reads less like a corporate policy and more like a sacred vow. The entire organization is built to serve this one ultimate unwavering purpose: making sure the signal, that lifeblood, never, ever stops flowing.
Which brings us to our final thought. We've seen how a company could build this system step by logical step. But in creating something that acts as our planetary nervous system, that literally holds our pulse, that gets to decide what it means to exist, they've created an entirely new form of power. So the ultimate question isn't just who holds the pulse, but what happens if they decide we need a different heartbeat?